This is Paul Newman with the Cashflow Cafe podcast. Today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Adrian Peterson on our show today. I'm so excited to have you on. In 1 minute or less, tell us all about yourself.
Adrian Peterson, grew up in Alachua, Florida. Parents, Port and Aretha Peterson. I have an older brother, Mike Peterson, a younger brother, Rodney Peterson, and a younger sister, Lakeisha Peterson. Married, has 3 kids. I'm married to my wife, Angela. Kids is Aiden, Amelia, and Alana. Georgia Southern graduate and 8-year NFL vet.
That's awesome. AP, what originally brought you to Georgia Southern? What made your time here special at Georgia Southern?
Coming out of high school, only had 3 really official offers, Georgia Southern, South Carolina State, and FAMU. Tracy Ham was on the staff, and again, he's a member of Santa Fe High School graduate. So
y'all actually went to the same high school?
Went to the same high school.
That's wild. The 2 best all-time players in Georgia Southern's history went to the same high school.
Same high school. So he was on staff, came down, recruited me. Seemed like he was every morning. He was coming through our weight room door, pulling me outside, and just giving me some insight on Georgia Southern. And, being the option offense, everything starts in the fullback stomach. And so I was going to be pretty much the first option. And we ran that offense in high school, so it was going to be an easy transition coming from high school to college. Came on the visit. Statesboro is kind of similar to my hometown of Alachua, small, so it kind of felt like home, and it didn't look back.
You 2 guys arguably just transcended Georgia Southern football and put us on the map. I mean, Tracy started with a couple national championships, and did you win 1 or 2 national championships? You won 2.
2, and played in 3.
And played in 3.
Yeah.
I just got to school here in 2001, and I was in high school thinking, man, this Georgia Southern is killing the game, So like it was such an exciting time. I hated that we might have overlapped just a little bit because you might have still had some classes left or something. But anyhow, it was to come here knowing our football team was just killing the game was really cool. So what would you say one of your favorite games or favorite moments? I'm sure everybody probably say the run, but what stands out to you like as your all-time favorite moment in Georgia Southern history?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I had a lot. Probably, if I had to pick one, the 99 national championship game, because, in 98 we were undefeated and ended up losing in that championship game. But being able to put all that behind you, come back to winter workouts, spring practice, summer camp, and then start fresh and complete the mission, which is winning a national title, and then I give you 2, and then coming back and win it for second year in a row. So back-to-back years. So being able to just, start something, finish it, restart it, finish it, restart it, and finish it.
So the year we lost when you said we were undefeated, how close was that national championship game? Was it not that close? It
was close at the end. We kind of we turned the ball over, I think, 5 times in the first half. So if you do that, chances are you're not going to beat anybody.
Just lots of fumbles?
Just lots of fumbles. Lots of fumbles.
So, had a chance to win 3 in a row.
I had a chance to win 3 in a row. Should have won 3 in a row. Lost to UMass, and then we actually played them the following year here in Paulson and beat them pretty good. Had a pretty good game, like 333 yards and 5 touchdowns. So a little revenge, for the guys.
So you played under Paul Johnson.
Yep.
I believe he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame as well. Is that correct?
Year, yep.
Tell us what it was like to kind of play up under Coach Paul Johnson.
He was a strict guy.
No BS.
Yeah, not a whole lot of nonsense. Strictly business, but. If you did what you're supposed to do, you're gonna have a lot of fun, and the fun was winning. Came in, he had a strict schedule. We had curfew throughout the week, so I think Wednesday night it might have been 11 p.m. Thursday night it might have been 10, and then of course Friday night went like a 9 p.m. curfew. But coming in and seeing that, and then actually seeing the success, and it worked. So, when young guys came in, it was no question about,
they bought in.
The process, instantly bought in. If not, you was going to be bought out.
Exactly.
It's gonna remove you.
It seems like he's not putting up with the. If you're gonna work hard and you're gonna listen and you're gonna win, but you may not like the process, but you're gonna like the end result.
Yeah, and it worked. It works. So everybody who came in, kind of stepped in the line and we won a lot of games.
Who was one of your? I mean, I know you had a gazillion teammates that you loved and probably still are just best friends with today. I mean, from those days. But is there one or two that stand out that you're like, man, I loved playing with so and so?
All my guys.
I know it's hard to single them out.
Yeah, it is. It is because you got different experiences with different guys. You got my guys that came in with my roommates, and then my quarterbacks I played with. Those were a lot of battles we went in. Coach said we're doing it wrong, and we think we're doing it right, and trying to tweak it to make it work. And the offensive line guys who don't get a lot of credit
in the trenches.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna name names because it's too many. The receiver group who only got the ball thrown to them maybe 3 times in 4 games.
But they were out there blocking and paying their dues.
So everybody, baby, we rolling. Everybody.
Yeah, man, those are some special years. I mean, it's just what it'd be like to be a national champion is just, you can't take that away from you. That's earned, not given. What was it like to get your name called on draft day, man, to get drafted by the Bears? And what was it? Tell us a little about your life in Chicago and your NFL career.
Yeah, draft day was an emotional roller coaster. You hear, probably anywhere after the second round, first round comes, you kind of know who's going to go first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. I think I might have took a nap. Just emotional, just tired, man. And then woke up about the end of the fifth round, and sixth round came, and the head coach at the time, Dick Geron, he gave me call me and said, Adrian, with the next pick, we're gonna take you. And before he finished the sentence, seeing my name flash across the bottom of the other screen on ESPN ticker, and excitement. That all of the sacrifices I had made, all of the decisions I had put me in this position to becoming an NFL player.
And to have an 8-year career, is that right? 8 years.
8 years.
That's
yep.
That's something to be super proud of, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yep.
I mean, it's a hard lesson to learn. So tell us about when you first started making some good money in the NFL. Like, what ways were you trying to think about? All right, how can I try to protect this? How can I not spend? Like, what's some of your thoughts on that?
So, during the season, I really didn't spend a whole lot because I knew the off season, whether it was coming back home, traveling. So I tried not to spend a whole lot during the season. And then also the NFL has a great process with annuity and then your 401k, of course, and so just putting that aside because the NFL actually matches what you put in 2 to 1. So if you put in 10, they put in 20.
Oh, perfect.
So you were
trying to max those things out.
Not trying, was maxing that out every year, and you know it's over there, but you're not really looking at it. You don't even count that money.
Investing's a time thing, and with you putting in early, that would have been in your mid-20s, late 20s.
Yeah.
Then now you're 40. You go, okay, I start to see a little something.
It looks good over there.
That's the power of investing, is trying to do that early, and the fact that you took advantage of the match. And I mean, hopefully most smart people would, but a lot of people get, all right, I'm gonna go spend this and spend this. There's a lot of temptation out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't know, and again, I was fortunate enough to have an older brother, Mike Peterson, who's already in the NFL. So I kind of basically did everything that he did, and those were some of the things he was doing. And now, as an older man, it's looking good over there.
So, touch base a little bit on just, golly, what an athletic family to have 2 brothers playing NFL. And I've been watching your children play and get bigger, and it's fun to kind of watch them grow. Tell me a little bit about your father, your parents, what they mean to you, your family structure, and what you're trying to instill to your kids.
Oh, yeah. So mom and dad, my dad coached probably like 40 years in our rec football and basketball programs. My mom was the team mom for every team. So, when you have an older brother, myself, and a younger brother, so she team mom for 3 different teams, and then my younger sister was a cheerleader. But growing up, they actually renamed the street that we grew up on. It's called Peterson Place.
So good.
And it doesn't have anything to do with my success or Mike's success in the NFL, but it's the community service hours that my parents gave back to my town of Alachua. And for me, it's kind of similar. And they always say the apple don't fall far from the tree, and I believe that. The first thing Mike did when he got drafted was start a foundation to give back to the community. Every year he will have a youth football camp, whether it was in our hometown or his current city. The first thing I did when I got drafted was start a foundation to give back to our community, holding youth camps. I think I held my first one here in Statesboro was 2002. Right after I got drafted, we had like 400 kids in Paulson. And then I started doing it in the Chicago area. So similar to myself and my parents, what I'm doing now, Aiden, last year he did a book club. So we did it over at the Boys and Girls Club. So we had about 20 kids came in and read a book each day. It was like a 15-page book, and after that they had to write a little essay, and then those that wanted to do it was able to present it. And again, we're going to continue that again this year. And it's about growing your community. I would love to do stuff back in the Alachua, but the timing,
your kids'
doesn't
sports
work
stuff
out.
and all
yeah,
that.
Tough.
You're so
it's
involved
tough.
here, and so sounds like you're making a difference here. I think one thing from afar watching you, AP, is I love seeing you with your family. You're always out. You're always helping and doing, and I think it's neat. I think we're all blessed. Anybody's got a mom and dad that pours into them like you had.
Yep.
And you're modeling what your mom and dad do, right? So our kids, are very fortunate to have a mom and dad that are really pushing and trying to make them better.
Yeah, and again, I say I was given a blueprint.
That's
to what it was, whether it's how to be a father, how to be a student athlete, having Mike as an older brother with the second round draft pick, and also how to be a pro, and that means giving back to your community. And it's many ways you can give back, whether it's time, financial, or just being a presence. Just coming back home and hang out in the park and they see, oh, this is Mike Peterson, this is Adrian Peterson played for the Chicago Bears, but he still come back and support things that's local. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, I think so much in life is what do you get exposed to, right? Like, I think that's such a big thing. Sometimes if you're never exposed to anything, you don't know any better. It's not your fault, but that's when somebody that's making a difference, like your family, your mom and dad, and they were there, they were present, they were active, and then now you're doing the same thing, and I'm sure there's a ton of people that would go, man, you can't beat it,
Yeah, I enjoy it, because if you're not giving back and trying to help the younger generation, you're missing out, because we're getting older. I'm getting older.
Yep, the grades are coming in for both of us.
Yeah, and these are the ones that's going to be assisting us, whether it's helping us take our groceries to the car, open up the door, or bringing us something if we down ill or sick, and I'm just trying to make it a better place.
Life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are we doing for others? That's a Martin Luther King quote. And it's just like, you got to keep going and kind of keep doing the best you can. If you got opportunities to help, then that's what we need to be doing.
Exactly. I agree.
So what do you think that what would you say something you wish you'd known about maybe money earlier, or what are your thoughts about how to try to protect it and preserve it, and what do you try to educate your family on it?
Get information. I don't call it a missed deal. Like I missed out on this. No, you probably just wasn't ready for this.
Right.
Because I would rather miss a deal than lose money in a deal. So I'm all about getting the information, processing it, and learning it, and then proceeding with it. I think if you do that, because deals are going to come around. It's all about timing.
Yep.
Sometimes you're going to be financially able to do this deal, and sometimes you might have to wait and somebody else to take it.
That's right.
But
it's nice to be presented with a deal. I tell a lot of people, like, you don't always have to take a deal, or you want to be in a position where you can be presented with opportunities. And I'd say, a lot of that is networking. And I would say guys that have made it to the NFL or have achieved some level of success, they get presented with more opportunities than the average person. So now the question is, all right, let me make sure I'm thinking about this the right way. Do I have the money to kind of get in this kind of deal?
Yep.
And those are important to kind of make sure you're educated and primed for an opportunity when it comes up.
Yeah. So just be patient.
And so, what would you say? Like, was there any financial mistakes that you made that you wish you would have done any better? Like anything that you invested in a guy didn't really work out? Like anything like that?
Yeah, it was a couple. Just didn't have the information and the knowledge of it, and but it wasn't a big deal where it hurt me financially.
That's right.
So I think that'd be another.
Well, stay with that, right?
Tip.
So let's stay with that. It's a perfect comment. Like, sometimes you're gonna miss. I've missed on plenty of deals where, like, man, I thought that was good, but you got to make sure it doesn't hurt you overall, right? If it's just a little something and you miss, well, that's risk. In life, you have to take risks to get ahead.
Yep.
So try to educate yourself, and yes, sometimes you're gonna miss. It stings, but like, as long as it doesn't hurt your family as a whole.
As a whole, financially, on down the road, and that's what I look at now. If it's just a couple months, but and having your annuity, your 401k, so that those types of things kind of gives you a little cushion.
And in life, you do have to take action. You do have to take risks. Taking action and taking risks are pretty important things, because you can't play it safe your whole life. If you do, you're not going to get ahead. So there's going to be times where you're uncomfortable, but you got to kind of push through and go, all right, is this a risk worth taking?
Yeah. And once you're in it, you got to go with it. You got to go learn as much as you can, get as much help as you can, because again, sometimes you may think you know it, and then when you get into it, I don't quite understand this.
That's right.
And then let me see who does have the information.
And surrounding yourself with good people, right? Like surrounding yourself with people you trust. Because, sometimes if you go in with somebody you don't really know them, you can get burned up in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
So picking the right partners is pretty important, especially if you're going to partner with somebody. In the perfect world, you do a lot of stuff yourself, because that way you rely on yourself and you know what you got, right? If you let yourself down.
How hard you're going to work, because if it's up to me, I'm gonna work all day on it.
If there's anything I know about you, you're going to work hard.
Yeah.
I think that's in your DNA and in your blood.
Yeah, and get it done, figure it out.
That's awesome. What's your thoughts on this big topic, NIL? NIL is a maddening thing. There's a ton of pros, there's some cons. Where's your headspace at with NIL?
2 parts. I like it, and then the other part is I think the NCAA is they just opened it up with no
guardrails.
And that's, in a sense, that's like putting everybody on the interstate with no speed limit.
It's just all gas, no brakes.
What you think is going to happen?
Right.
There's going to be accidents.
And I don't blame any of these players. I hear about some of the money they're getting, and I don't blame them in the least. Like, it's the system. I'm like, heck yeah. What would you have got paid, man, with your Russian numbers? Go back and think about that, man. With your Russian numbers, they would have got, man, they'd have been like,
it would have been good. It would have been
good. They'd have said, $2 million for sure. You'd been like, bye.
But on with you, you can't blame the kids, because it's the rule. If mom say you don't have a curfew, then
you're gonna stay out till 1 o'clock.
You can't blame them for staying out all night. But if mom say be home at 12, then
they've got to figure it out. And I'll say this as a fan: it's just disheartening to. I want to get to know the players. I want to get to know a team. When I watch even the Braves, right? Like, we got a bunch of players, but at least they have 6 or 7 players coming back next year.
Oh yeah.
Some of these teams, you're like, man, I don't even know the players anymore. That's rough for the fans.
Yeah, it is, and even trying to build a relationship.
And honestly, yes, the player may make more money, and I'm happy that they do, but they could miss some really good relationships that never get to form because they're gone in 10 months.
And that's what I try to tell our guys is don't pass up lifetime relationships for X amount of dollars. Now, if it's an extended amount where it can be, potential game changing for you, but if you're talking
30,000-40,000, it's kind of like I think you stay put.
You stay
now,
put.
Look,
for
you get
the
into
relationship.
70, 80, 100,000. That's a lot for a young kid. It's so hard. But like if your number's pretty close and you feel like you've built some good relationships, it seems to me to stay put.
Yeah, that's what I advise our guys.
Plus, there's no guarantee. Like they may go, yeah, you're the man, and then you were a starter here, and then now you're riding the bench at another school.
Backup. So I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just
trying to accomplish
to get X amount of dollars, or if you're trying to make it to the next level. So.
Any advice I give, and I can't give it with the NIL, but it's like I try to make all my decisions based off what is the best for long term, right? Like everything in my life, any decision I made, I've tried to think, is this best long term?
Yep.
If you can get your mindset to go, I'm a long term thinker and long term player, you're gonna succeed so much more.
Yeah, because you miss out on opportunities here in front of you.
Now, Aiden, your oldest, just got. Did he get his first scholarship offer or?
Well, he has two. We offered him, and then he picked up Citadel a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
So he's growing. He's growing, getting better. He's locked in, and I mean, he just had.
He's a couple inches taller than you too, right?
Yeah, he done got me. I done passed it on to him, man. Keep going. Keep going,
heck
man.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm not gonna hold you back.
Number one thing you want for your kids is to be taller, be faster, be smart,
all
anything.
All that.
That's kind of hard for them to be all those things with you. But
at first it is, but then once you start to see that other success coming on, like he's a straight A student in honors classes. I mean, he's just
super bright future ahead.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Tell me about what are you super passionate about right now? What wakes you up and like really gets you motivated now after all that you've accomplished?
Probably been my kids, man.
Yeah.
Just seeing them grow. Like I say, on and off the field, and our student athletes here at Georgia Southern. Just trying to help them grow, especially someone who's been there, done that, here at Georgia Southern. So it's a lot different when you coming from somewhere else and you're trying to tell somebody something. But I'm right here. Before we had the indoor facility, but before we had the coach's office, when it was just kind of homegrown, if you will.
Grassroots.
Yeah, and seeing the growth of it.
The evolution has been fun.
Yeah, it has. So when parents come in with the recruit, you can kind of give them a quick history of it, and they are surprised, like, oh, wow. I said, yeah, we didn't have this, but we made it work. So it's good to have, but you don't necessarily need it to be successful.
What's AP's top 3 tips to give to a student athlete? If you had to rattle off like 3 tips that you'd be like, if I just had to sum it up in 3 tips to give to the student athlete, what would those 3 tips be?
When you go to class, get to know other students. So I'm gonna just use football as an example. Don't just hang around football guys. Going to class, and even if it's just a simple speaking to the first 3 people that you pass by, introduce yourself to your professor.
Yep.
And trust the process. Just have fun.
That's right.
I think a lot of student athletes, especially if our guys, are looking 5 years from now. Yeah, you want to think about it, but you don't want to be talking about it. I'm going to give you an example. I don't think I ever said about if I make it to the NFL while I was in college, because I was trying to dominate practice. I was trying to dominate the games. I was trying to dominate
you were in the moment.
The conference.
You were yeah.
Living.
You weren't even.
It's going to be there. They're giving out $200 million deals.
Right.
It's going to be there. It's going to be there. Let's see who can dominate practice today.
Okay.
Let's see who can dominate the weight room today.
Love it.
Let's see who can dominate this game, the conference.
Yep.
And then we play a national championship game.
Yep. Focus on the right here, right
And
now. Let's get after it.
That's going to be over there
every day.
Every day. That's going to be over there, man. And have fun, because you only get to go through it one time.
Yep. I usually, to not switching from student athletes when somebody comes to Georgia Southern, I usually tell them two things. I'm like, don't drink and drive, because they're gonna get you here.
We can't help you with that.
Yeah, don't drink and drive.
We can't help you with
Show
that.
up to class every day. People are like, oh, I don't have to go to class. Well, yeah, you don't have to, but do you want to make an A or a B? Because if you go to class, that's probably gonna give you an A or B. When you start skipping, that's when you're gonna hit the C's.
Yeah.
And really, I think college almost sometimes need to reinvent itself. And what I mean by that is like, it's all networking. Like what you just brought up about introducing yourself to 1, 2, 3 different people. Like life will always be networking. Who are you shaking hands with? Who are you? What kind of impact are you keeping your head? Is your head buried down? Are you on your headphones, never looking up, talking to anybody? Are you? How does somebody feel when they leave? After they leave talking to you.
Yep.
So networking is and always will be in my mind paramount, because, I mean, if Aiden goes on some of these recruiting visits and he leaves a good impact and they go, man, that was a good kid, but what if he doesn't? It's like they're not going to follow up. Or what if they don't? They say, man, that's a great kid. He ain't ready for our program, but what if somebody calls on him and then they go boom?
Yep.
So it's how are you leaving people after you talk?
And again, and speaking of Aiden, I tell him, hey, coaches leave from year to year and go to different schools.
That's
so
it.
Just because you may, I'm going to just say a smaller school, a D3 school may call you. That head coach in 2 years may be the OC at
and say, we got to go get him.
A bigger school.
That's right.
And then 3 years from now, he may be a head coach at a P5 school. So, and again, that's just an idea, but you always treat people with respect and gratitude.
I feel like some of the kids miss some of that stuff. I just don't know if they're ever introduced to it, but just the way you carry yourself and your network and how you, I mean, that's such a big deal that I think it's just it's attitude, right?
And I think, just like you said, I think some of them aren't just introduced to it.
They don't see the example.
They don't see it. They
don't understand the value of it too.
So I used to make Aiden was a quiet kid. So when we used to go and at the gym on Sundays and Thursdays, I'll make him go in there and speak to everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Getting him out of his comfort zone.
Get him out of comfort zone.
Yeah, a kid doesn't really want to do that.
Yeah. But hey, man. So now when we go in the gym, he automatically does it. And they'll grab him. Yeah, they'll grab him. Boy, you getting big. Yep. So now, again, that's a relationship they have built. Him and that gentleman has built.
That's right.
Without me intervening in it.
And if football ends up not working out for him, like it won't work out for most of these athletes that we're talking about. All right, well that was a great guy, regardless of football. He's a great guy. He can, so it's little things like that. At restaurants, we make our kids, order it for themselves. Look at the waitress, look at the waiter in their eye, and you order yourself. We're not ordering for you. So it's all those little body language things and stuff like that.
All the nuggets.
Yeah, So you are I cannot leave without saying this. You are the all-time leading college football rusher, regardless of D1, D2, D3, all time.
All-time leading rusher and all-time leading scorer.
I mean, that's kind of like it's kind of like a mic drop, right?
Yeah. I remind my kids all every now and then about that. I say, Dad, just he's an old man. He's humble, but when I was
you were a bad dude.
Yeah, when I was out there, I was tough. Now
I mean, it's fun to think about those days and those memories, and that's an earned statement. Like nobody gave you those yards. I mean, those were hard fought yards.
Yeah. So all of my guys, they get all the credit for that too. So
that's right. The O linemen in there in the trenches and the receivers, everybody.
The A-backs, So all those guys.
So, AP, man, it was awesome to have you on the show. I feel like we could definitely come on once a year, talk about what you're doing and all those things. I think you are just a great dude. You're not just a football player. You're a father, a mentor to people, and it's a pleasure to call you a friend, and I hope that we both keep crushing this thing.
We're going to do it. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.